Everyone deserves to have the best chance in life. If you have good hearing, then your education, your health is going to be all the more better.
Okay? So I'll test your right ear first and then your left ear.
There's a lot of research, there's a lot of evidence around the importance of early childhood. The brain is wiring itself in the first 3 years of life, which sets you up on a trajectory of what that means for the rest of your life. Here at the Children's Centre, we provide programs for early childhood development and for parenting. And one of the things that we've been privileged enough to have here at the centre has been the Aboriginal Audiology project. With regard to the AEDI, it allowed us to actually identify children in our local community and look at the issue of hearing.
The Australian Early Development Index, or AEDI, was introduced to try and give us a picture of how children are developing and learning in the early years across Australia. So this project came about because the project team said, we know there's Aboriginal children living in our region who might need extra help when it comes to being able to hear what's going on in the classroom. They decided the best way to do this was to undertake screening of all Aboriginal preschoolers throughout the entire region.
If you don't have good hearing, then you struggle to hear what the teacher says. Even your classmates next to you that are making noise, be a bit of a distraction. Once you lose concentration of what the teacher's saying, you start being disruptive in class. That's when the kids either get put into the naughty quarter or be placed as one of the kids that are a bit disruptive, when really it's not them being disruptive on their own accord. It's just them having slowly hearing loss.
It's a good idea to test children prior to their starting their formal education or just as they've started. Some of the parents that have come here have been quite motivated to bring their child because they've already noticed a problem or their child has had a series of ear infections. They've come here wanting to find out if there is a problem that can be rectified early.
I think for the parents it's an even bigger journey. One of the questions we had when parents first came to meet us was, can my child hear me? Or when I'm actually asking them for their attention, is it that they're ignoring me? So by the end of the assessment, parents knew whether children were selectively hearing or whether they really couldn't hear them.
It'd be like little things I've got to repeat myself over and over and over again until you can hear me. I feel like I'm screaming sometimes. And also the teacher recognised that Tyrone wasn't learning properly. His learning ability with reading and writing was very difficult for him.
If your ears are clean, you can hear properly. I had to put these on my ears, and then when I hear sound, I put a block into a basket.
I did notice that the eardrums looked unhealthy. They were opaque and dull, as though there was fluid behind the eardrums, and that he has had several ear infections previously that might have not resolved totally. Although he had normal hearing, they were borderline normal, and so I did recommend that she take Tyrone to consult her GP. In assessing the children at a young age, we're hoping that we can identify any hearing loss that may impact on their education, and if we can rectify or repair their hearing early, then perhaps they will go on to have positive educational outcomes. It will just be progressive for the community.
Because certainly the parent feedback that we've had has been really favourable. Most of the parents, well, all the parents that were invited to be part of the project participated and had some really good feedback when we actually conducted our feedback session. Our project ran this year, but there's a new stream of preschool children next year, so it would be great if it was like a universal kind of provision for Aboriginal children in the local community to be able to participate in a hearing assessment and look at, prior to entering primary school or junior primary schooling, that we know where their hearing is at.
Well, I hope for Tyrone that we get through to the Women's and Children's early before any damage has happened to his hearing, which will help his learning ability as well.
For testing to happen early in a child's life, it gives them a chance of getting a good education, getting a job later on, and being a person that's a leader within the community and can excel in all facets of life.